Hello everybody, welcome to our episode on the elemental event at the moment, the Duel Triangle over on YuGiOh Master Duel game. So we've been discarding a lot of the White family into the graveyard in a lot of episodes lately, so we've been getting pretty good at this deck. It is a dark deck, so I actually was able to put it in the Dark and Water section. There are 3 sections of different elements, as you see there, light and earth and fire and wind as well. So basically we've got the forbidden cards that we've got to avoid putting in. Points are awarded for each duel you win. Basically the more you win, the more points you get. If you lose, you still get some as long as you don't surrender. But there's a lot of crystals to be had and a cool title at the end of all of that there too. So a lot of cool stuff. Make sure you collect all the quests if you're getting into it like I am. So really good. I think that's on for another 10 days at the moment when I'm releasing this video. So yeah, I got a pretty cool hand here. 2 white bakings in the hand, a King of the Skull Servants, plus a Dark Hole. So I'm going to straight up get my Linky Bob out onto that. Okay, so I would have liked to double summon, would have been nice or something like that, but I didn't get one this time sadly. It would have been handy just to throw away more or maybe Linky out a bigger monster, but that's fine. So we're going to leave Linky out for the start of this one. Okay, clutching on and licking my lips over this Dark Hole that I've got, so I have been adding some of these into my graveyard deck and enjoying them a lot. So same with the Needlebug nest there, so they actually used a Feather Duster on me and that actually activated anyway. So the thing that does is take 5 cards from the top of my pile and put them in my graveyard down there in the bottom of the screen there. So that blue dot in my side there is my graveyard. The purple one's my banish pile, and the deck is obviously my deck with my hand here in the middle, and then my extra deck over here on the left side. So basically it looks like we've got quite a good chance at winning this one, possibly the way things are going. I'm probably going to take a few pretty big hits because this card that this enemy's pulled out actually is able to just take my cards off the field and throw them straight into my graveyard, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I can resummon most of them from the graveyard with this graveyard milling strategy I have anyway, so I don't like that though, so I'm going to Dark Hole that. So it's a pretty cool effect, the Dark Hole itself. I've also got a Rajiki in my hand now as well, so summoning out the King of the Skull Servants. I might as well go 2 because what I've noticed is they try and negate 1 a lot, just like they throw away cards. So 2's more powerful than 1. Strength in numbers with the skeletons. I've buffed those up to 10,000 by milling my graveyard and done 1 big number on him. But I couldn't do it because of his trap card he had waiting. So I sent the second one to do it. So that's how come I actually summoned 2 out that time instead of 1. Because sometimes I only summon 1 and I put him up to max attack damage and all that sort of thing. Instead of getting 2 out. And you know, I'm finding that, you know, a couple work well. Sometimes I even make them a slightly lower level, so that way that they can actually do a better job. So like obviously if they target 1 and take it out with a card or an effect, and one of my big 8,000 or 10,000 monsters, it can quite annoy you, as you can imagine. So you know, I like this deck because it's, you know, familiar to me and I can actually summon out what I like. So here we go. I get a Linky Bob and do my graveyard milling strategy again. Okay, I do have a video up on the channel about this milling strategy. If anyone's interested, go over and check out some of our other content as well. Okay, so this Doomsday Horror actually is a good card as well. It allows me to get some of the cards out of my banish pile and move them back into my graveyard. It also has a thing where it does attack of 300 times the amount of zombies in my graveyard, which really buffs quite nicely on the side of this deck. There are a couple other cards in some of my recent live episodes that are actually even on par or better than that card as well. So I've actually managed to replace Doomsday Horror now. Sometimes I don't use the Book of Life anymore, but it is a lovely book. It does allow me to buff up my damage and attack on the King of the Skull Servants particular card there, which is very nice. So here we go, we're playing it out there now. So I'm going to slap one of those down on there. Okay, he thought he got rid of them, but I've hit him for 3,200 damage off his 8,000 life points. So he's down to 4,800 life points now. I'm down to 3,700 down in the bottom left corner. It was a pretty good hit on him there. It really stunned him. So he's actually only he still kept his monster though, and the equip that he had on, he sent that to the graveyard now instead, and now he's summoning out a monster with them 3 monsters, which actually allows him to throw away my cards and hit me again. So that's a pretty good strategy that this particular opponent is rolling on me at the moment. It's a pretty brutal fight, as you can see. He's still got 4,800 life points, but he's just shattered me down to 500 and summoned this card out. Okay, so now it's my turn because that can't hit. Okay, so basically I'm summoning out the 1-for-1 card here, so that way I can get my wight baking and do a little bit of milling into the graveyard so that I can actually get out a more powerful King of the Skull Servants, maybe even 2 I'm thinking, as usual. So at this point I know that I've been rushed a lot. He's already attacked and discarded a lot of my cards I didn't want, but I put out a 10k one anyway and hit his 2800. So if you want to see more, make sure to get over and hit the subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. If you are already, thanks so much for checking out our content. We much appreciate it. Till next time.